Where are the cameras?
There's. Don't cut that, Bree. Please leave that in. We've been going for an hour and 35 minutes, and she's 4.5 feet from the camera staring in her face. And, where are they?
I just thought maybe I didn't know if I ever looked in one.
Are you guys nervous? You both seem very nervous. This is so funny to me because my entire life I've had to sit on a couch while both of you sat and talked at me, and it's usually, I can't believe you would blah 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 blah. I can't believe you'd say that in Spanish class and blah 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 blah. And now it feels the opposite. It feels like I'm sitting down with you all, and you guys are kind of like the nervous teenagers, like, oh, what do we do? Are we going to be grounded?
So. I notice the couch is lower, so you're above us.
That's not.
No, it's to have dominance over us.
Is it? You might need to scoot your microphone a little bit closer, or I can just turn you up if you need.
It's to have dominance over us.
Yeah, that's exactly why I set that up. I purposely sawed off the legs of that couch just so you guys would be more uncomfortable. Bree told me, she's like, we just need to get a couple bricks. We can put it on top of some bricks, and then it'll be higher. She's like, we used to do that to our furniture all the time.
The cement blocks.
That's my favorite thing about Bree is that every day she'll say something to me just casually in conversation that's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. And she's like, no, that's not what we're talking about. We got to keep moving on. I'm like, what? She's like, well, that happened right after. It was probably the third time my dad set himself on fire. And we were doing, and I'm like, wait, what? What? And she's like, that's not the important part. We've got to keep going. She told me a story one time about how she met her best friend. She was like, well, I was in college, and I went to Easter Mass on the beach at a Hooters in Panama City. and I was like, what? You went to Easter Mass at a Hooters? She's like, yeah, it was Sunday. They were closed. I'm telling you about how I met my friend. And I'm like, oh, right. Yeah, sorry. I forgot. Okay. Yeah. You're right. So I'm sorry to get sidetracked.
Maybe I should spend a day with her because her storytelling is efficient.
It is efficient. Yeah.
She gets a lot of good stuff in, and I don't.
Well, no, it's not that you don't get a lot of good stuff in. You just also get a lot of stuff in. It's just good, bad, mediocre, necessary, unnecessary.
The market.
Although sometimes you're missing key information. Like, what was it we were talking about the other day where you were like, Danny said I need to do this. And I'm like, who's Danny? You know Danny. Her mom was Cheryl. I'm like, what? Yeah, Cheryl, and she was a teacher. And I'm like,
and you really liked her?
Yeah. Okay. Anything else? And then, like, after about 5 minutes of like pulling it, you're like, my dermatologist. And it's like, yes, because I could have figured that out. It's like playing Clue with you. So this is an unofficial. I think it's just because it's close to Father's Day. I thought we would throw some dad-related questions out there. The whole idea, for those of you who are listening for the first time, by the way, I'm terrible at introductions, but these are my parents. So welcome, Rob and Janet Rueseler.
Oh,
wow. We're fancy over here.
Whoa.
We are fancy. Yeah, I like this little soundboard thing. I'm starting to figure it out more and more. No, but we're. I thought I would make some dad-related questions to see if maybe we can do some stuff for Father's Day, since that's coming up soon. I don't know when, but best way to get to get started, or I guess first of all, let me back up and explain to anybody listening for the first time. The whole idea of the podcast is anytime somebody tells you something is the best, it's just their opinion. There's no way to prove it, right or wrong. You know, it's not scientific at all. It's just opinion based. Maybe we will agree. Maybe we don't agree. That kind of makes it a little bit more fun when we don't agree, I think, sometimes. But I thought a good starter question for this episode, I normally ask what's the best Gatorade flavor, but I'm assuming neither one of you have had a Gatorade in 25 years. So
seventh grade.
Seventh grade, yeah. Then when there was only one flavor.
That's right.
Yeah, it was just orange.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I found out the other. I always thought that.
Yellow.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I always thought orange was the original flavor because I was like, oh, the Florida Gators. Their colors are like blue and orange. You know, the lightning bolts orange. Their logo. Nope, it was yellow, lemon lime. That was the original flavor.
That's before they invented killer dyes.
Killer dye, yeah. So best gas station chain.
Oh my gosh, there's no QT.
I know. I feel like that's just it's. I mean, it's unspoken.
But maybe it's deserved.
Yeah. I should get a separate picture for it on there. I just wanted a collage of like a bunch of different ones.
Because QT is not what it was.
Really?
Yeah, COVID killed QT.
Did it? What's different about it?
It's dirty.
Well, which one are you going to?
All of them. All of
You're
them.
inspecting? That's what you do in your free time?
Well, they've got names even. We have different QTs have different names. So, like there's the Dr. Cowan QT. And...
That's it.
That's it, yeah.
Well, then the others.
Yeah. And then there's the other ones. Okay, great.
But where else can you get gas and these orange things that roll and a hot dog?
The buffalo chicken rollers.
And the greatest thing, you can take your cup in and it's 50 cents cheaper if you get a refill.
I have an empty QT cup in the back of my car.
Every car I own has an empty QT cup.
I was about to say.
So that he can take it and go in and refill it.
I think every cabinet in every house I've ever had growing up was filled with QT cups.
Yeah.
And my favorite part is that they're not white anymore.
Oh,
they're kind of like a little bit brown. They're stained by unsweet tea.
Yeah, it gets really nasty after a while. It looks so gross. Even I will throw it away and get a new one.
Yeah,
that's
after some hints from mom. But yeah, I gotta say, yes, QT is definitely up there. I think that's just a Missouri thing, though. I think it's a kind of a St. Louis Midwest. Like QT is. We all love it. I'm sure lots of people would argue Casey's, but I'm not.
I never go to Casey's. I don't know.
Well, that's because you live in Cape Girardeau and there is no Casey's.
Well,
you got to come to Jackson where all the.
Yeah.
No, you know what's actually I was really underappreciated? Love's.
Yeah.
Love's gas stations. They got clean bathrooms. They got a decent snack selection. They've got good drinks, pretty decent prices on gas and stuff. I'm a big fan of Love's.
The Love's is good, especially by the Dr. Cowan QT. And that has the pineapple cups that Kelly likes.
Yeah.
I only like Love's that have a McDonald's connected to them.
Yeah. Although they're starting to I think they're starting to switch because some of them are like Arby's now. Did you see that?
Oh.
Yeah.
Golf was my favorite as a kid because they had this deal. That's the days where you pulled up and they came out and put the gas in your car, washed your windshield, checked the oil and all that. And they used to have this like big clock in the window, and the guy had to come out in like 15 seconds, or you got discounts.
Don't you remember that commercial where the guy pulls up with his date and they get
25 cents
of gas, and she's giving him a hard time because he bought that fancy gas pedal that looks like a foot.
A barefoot gas pedal.
Yeah. And it was like, well, if you had done that, you could afford to get a little more gas, you know, and that was great.
They got 25 cents worth of gas?
Yeah.
That's so funny is nowadays 25 cents worth of gas is like the attendant would just like just spit in your gas tank, you know? Just be like, well, that's all you get.
See, I liked Sinclair because they had the dinosaur, and sometimes they'd give away inflatable dinosaurs. Remember
That's
that?
right.
Yes, I
And I had
love
a
that.
truck. I had a big metal truck, a Sinclair gas truck, as a little kid.
See,
was a
so that was
big deal.
really cool.
Man, well,
So-
look at that.
Yeah.
The more you know,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
I avoid 7-Elevens at all costs.
Mm.
Phillips 66. I mean, if you want some type of venereal disease, that's where you go. Like, you just have you ever?
I don't want to know.
Yeah.
How you-
Well, you just go in. Sometimes you're like, oh man, I've got to go to the bathroom so bad, and then you pull off the highway, and the only thing around's a Phillips 66. And you're like, I might as well just go in this field. I mean, it might be safer,
Mhm.
you know. I
Mhm.
would rather poop on a fire ant nest than go into some of these bathrooms. I'm so sorry. Was that too graphic for you? This is a good view into how I grew up because
don't
I
need-
even
You don't need to use those 4-letter words.
yeah. I'm so sorry to be so vulgar.
Mhm.
Now, I wish I talked about this with somebody that my biggest pet peeve in the world is when you're driving and you need gas or you're hungry and you need a snack or
Mhm.
something, and you see a sign and it's like coming up,
Mhm.
you know, say Phillips 66, and you're like, fine, whatever, I have to get off. So you go, you get gas, you get back on the highway, and then 2 miles later, it's like a billion different things.
yes.
And it's like, oh, if I just would have waited,
Mhm.
and there's no
Competition.
way of knowing what's coming up. You know what I mean? And like,
Mhm.
it should tell you, like, hey, in 5 miles is the good stop. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Mhm.
But I guess, I
Mhm.
don't know.
There's like the deliverance stop,
Yeah.
and then the like safe stop. You know.
Yeah. There's the stop where you get off, and there's just it's that kid playing the.
And they're all kind of chewing on the corn.
What
is
y'all
that?
doing round here?
Yeah. Mm.
The Planters peanuts are cheaper at QT than they are at Love's.
Well, that's.
Just so
I
you
mean,
know.
that's a deciding factor.
Oh yeah, I mean
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like 35 cents cheaper, and then you get
Mhm.
you get a cheaper refill. I mean QT just rocks it.
It's dirty.
It's not dirty.
It is dirty.
It's not dirty.
And I don't understand a place that is set up for shoplifting, little items, and their checkouts in the center of the store. So it's like, here, come pay for something, and then just steal from us as you leave. I think that's strange. So maybe that is a Midwest thing, because maybe Midwesterners don't steal so much.
But there's always change around the checkout thing because they check out so fast. There's always dimes and nickels on the ground. And I pick them up.
Oh my goodness! That's so
Circle.
funny.
The
Is
only person in America who makes money getting iced tea.
you're getting your refill discounts,
Yeah.
and you're getting your 5-finger discounts on your way out, and just swiping tasty cakes and.
No, we're
I
not
think-
stealing, but I'm just saying.
But
you know.
the thought occurred to you.
No, actually, we were in a place, we were traveling, remember? It was in Tennessee, I think, and we saw that guy just grab something on the way out the door. And just, you
No.
pointed it out to me. I
Hmm.
think we were around Cooksville or something.
Hmm.
Anyway, it was just like, it bothered me.
Yeah. So if you're watching, sir, we know.
Yeah.
All right. Don't think you got away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cir-
'cause-
Circle K has an inferiority complex. I think they just they almost
Oh,
apologize.
100%.
They're like, we're not QT, we're not Bucky's, we're not.
Mhm.
We're just
Mm-hmm.
we're kind of sorry we're here.
That's right.
We're
didn't talk
sorry
about-
we're here. Like, I'm sorry. We're sorry.
We
We're-
didn't talk about the beaver in the room, which would be Bucky's.
Who's being vulgar now, Gigi?
Well, I meant rather than the elephant, I thought I'd do the tie-in,
Oh.
because that's clever.
What?
Yeah, but
Quick Trip is up there. Is that not QT?
No, well, that's KW.
no, yeah,
IK.
no. Our QT is with a Q.
Hmm.
Yeah.
QT,
QT. Yeah.
quick.
Well,
Anyway,
that,
but
is
Bucky's,
KWIK not quick?
yes, but
But-
it's KT. But they don't go by KT. They go by Quick Trip.
I think you got a patent infringement there. Or something.
Okay.
I think so. I mean,
I was telling a story.
yes, go ahead. Sorry.
I think if you are feeling okay.
So anyway, no, if you're feeling okay, I'm sorry.
I think Buc-ee's really is good, but it can be a little bit of sensory overload.
Yes.
So if you have a headache or something like that, probably stay away.
Well, the thing about Buc-ee's is it's going to add an hour to your trip because getting into the parking lot alone is going to take a while because there's so many cars coming and going. It's backed up almost 24 hours a day. And they have 78 pumps, but they also have 156 people trying to get gas.
We've never gotten gas at a Buc-ee's.
I have. I did it in Texas. And by the time you go, you get gas, you go inside, you walk around, you check everything out. That's added 30 to 45 minutes, and then getting out of the parking lot's just as tricky. So it's going to add some time to your trip.
But kind of it's the highlight of your trip.
It
can be,
Yeah. Like when I went to Texas that one time and I dislocated my knee or whatever, it was like, well, at least we already got to go to Buc-ee's. You know, that's all that really matters.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
That's so funny because when I went there with all those comics, it's like some people loved it and some people were like, this is the worst place I've ever been. They were like, I hate everything about this. I get why Europe hates us. I get, like, they were like, I understand the terrorists now. Like, there were some people who just like, I can't stand it.
They must be seedy people because it's clean. They probably are QT people.
No, they're probably Phillips 66 people.
Or Circle K.
Circle K. Yeah, we're sorry. We're sorry. Yeah, we're just sorry.
We're sorry. Yeah.
What do you think? What are your thoughts on Wally's, though?
Oh, weak.
Yeah.
Weak.
I hate it.
It's a poor Buc-ee's knockoff.
It reminds me of, you know how like when we come out with new technology and then mysteriously 6 months later China comes out with the same thing, but not as good. You know what I mean? That's Wally's is the Chinese Buc-ee's.
What's that place you can order online that has really this is gonna be one of those moments, really crappy stuff like is it
Timu? Timu, yeah.
Timu.
Is it Shamu? the whale?
But it's like that,
yeah. Wally's is definitely the Timu Buc-ee's. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I will sign off on that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, there we go.
I didn't think we could get that much out of it.
You'd be surprised. Best seats at a baseball game. Where are you wanting to sit? I want to be down close by all the action, or I like the cheap seats up in the rafters.
I love the cheap seats. 400 level, and there's nobody around you. You got like 5 rows to yourself.
And there's coverings.
Yeah.
It blocks the sun, blocks some rain, wind. On a hot day, there's a cool breeze. Yeah.
Off the city.
That's right, a breeze off the city. Yeah.
I don't know. What about you?
He's convinced me that that's a good place to sit. At Busch Stadium, that truly it really is a good seat, isn't it?
Yeah.
You really can see a lot. We used to think we were fancy-like, and we'd try and go low, and we'd spend way too much money on them. And it's like, these are okay. I mean, they're nice, but you don't need to have a good seat.
No.
And it's day. It's so hot now.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it can be really hot.
Well,
but I really, there are a lot of seats I really like. Anything from, I wish that was a bigger screen.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, for those of you on the radio, I wear glasses.
On the radio, yeah. AMF 60. This is. Watch out for that Hitler. He's a bad egg. Now over to Johnny with the sports.
We're not on the radio?
Yeah. Is that not what we're doing? Is this a radio show?
But anyway, I don't like bleachers. I can tell you worst. Bleachers. I don't like the bleachers.
Yeah. Bleachers are rough.
Yeah.
That one birthday I had where my aunt bought us tickets for the green seats.
Oh, I bought the tickets.
Oh, I was
Mine
always told that Grace bought
No,
the
she
tickets.
got you the baseball bat and the ball.
Oh, well, I apologize.
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, there.
Objection! All right. I'm sorry. My father bought me the green seat tickets, and it was a great game. It was, that was during Mark McGuire's home run battle versus Sammy Sosa, and Jim Edmonds and Mark McGuire hit back-to-back home runs, and it was a great game, and it was before they implemented the pitch clocks, so the games lasted long enough for you to be like, oh, this is awesome, and it was great. I haven't been back since, what year was that? 1998 or something?
You were 9, so like 99. Yeah.
So it's like, as a kid, I'm like, this is fantastic. But as an adult, when I go, I went with a couple comedians. It was Adam Wainwright's last game.
Oh, yeah.
And we sat as high up as we could possibly sit. And like you, I enjoyed it because there's nobody around. We could, we could talk and joke around and, and spill each other's drinks and, just.
Oh, that's a good time.
Yeah, well, it was fun. We could just, be goofballs and stuff like
you
that.
Spilt a $14 drink?
Oh, my gosh. You should have seen my face when I found out that they didn't have I got a soda, and I was like, oh, well, I'll just get a soda, and then it'll be free refills because you get the big cup or whatever. No, it's not free refills at all. They're like, it's an additional $7.
Even if you keep it in the back of your car. And,
yeah, for 16 years.
But it's nice that you can take, we take in our own cooler with
I always
iced
forget that
tea
you
and
can do
Diet
that.
Coke. And
Peanuts or nuts?
yeah.
From QT because they're
From QT,
35 cents
'cause
cheaper.
Yeah, cheaper than Love's. Yeah.
We get those at Sam's. They're even cheaper.
Yeah.
Ooh, in the big bags.
Yeah.
No, yeah, well, he takes them in his little baggie,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but.
I must really be cheap because everything I'm talking about is cheap.
Yeah, you're cheap. You're cheap, yeah. Oh, wow, Don. Don.
Self-realization.
Yeah.
Get yourself on camera.
You want to stretch out on the couch and share more?
This is
No, I meant with your therapist,
Oh, yeah.
I thought you meant you and me.
I was like, what's happening?
Leave
Should
the
I
room,
leave?
son.
I was about to say, should I leave? There'll be a tie on the door in a minute.
Start,
Uh,
look at him. He's going to start singing.
all right, well, let's move on, guys. Who's the best dad in the Bible?
Oh, wow.
That's hard because the more you think about it, there's not a lot of good ones.
Mm.
Oh, and by the way, like, you can't say the father. That's
Right,
cheating.
right.
That's cheating.
Best dad in the Bible.
And just so you know, there's pictures of David. It's a picture of David and Goliath, and I know that they're not fathers in that story, but it's hard to get a picture of David as he didn't take a lot of selfies back then. So.
Right.
Then you got Abraham, and then you've got what I'm assuming is Joseph.
That has kind of that little bit of the Lion King look, like he's getting ready to raise the child up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the zebras help.
Yeah. So, well, do you want? Okay. Should the father answer?
I mean,
No, you go first.
Anybody can answer.
Okay. In all seriousness, Abraham is a really good father because he trusted God. Now, I know. Isaac may have had a different feeling about that.
Well, we're skipping over the whole Ishmael thing.
Well, I didn't say to whom. I didn't say to whom. I said, yeah. I mean, sometimes, in parenting, you kind of can be a better parent for one of your children than for the other. Your personalities click or something like that, or. But I mean, I just think that I just think because, in all seriousness, because he was so obedient to God and he trusted God to redeem the situation. I think that's pretty good. But I think one of the best fathers, and this is it just came to me, was Adam. Even though one of the kids killed the other, those things happen. But
yeah. If you're a badger,
but I mean, it wasn't his fault. Well, it was his fault out in that's when sin came into the world, when Adam sinned and Eve sinned. But I'm just saying, he other than that, he didn't make a whole lot of other mistakes.
Do you ever think that after all those things that happened, Adam was like, I kind of wish I could just go back to being by myself? Like there are times as a dad or as a, as a man in general, I'm kind of like, I could really go for some alone time right now. Do you think that he's like, man, I was so lonely, and then Eve showed up and was like, I think we should move the rock over here, and I think we should, and then she ate the apple, and then they had kids, and then he had to work in the fields, and he's probably like, man, I remember when my best friend was a tiger, and I could just walk and have a good time, and now my kids are killing each other, and I got to deal with her, like, no, nobody else thinks that.
Oh, I know. Another good dad would be Job. Because Job, he had all those kids.
They all died.
Yeah, but he didn't cause it. It wasn't because of him. And he would make sacrifices for them in case they had sinned unknowingly. And so, I mean, he was really dedicated to his kids and grieved. That reminded me, because the one person that he was left with was his wife, which that was like punishment.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That's so funny to me. Like, that's such an underrated, like, little detail in the Bible, is that it's like, oh, we should take everything from him except for her. This is gonna make it that much worse.
Yes.
No, that actually is that's one of my favorite stories in the Bible, just because Job had after he went through, he lost all his land, all his cattle, his friends, his workers, everything. He had, I think, 7 friends that just came and they sat with him for a week.
3 of them.
3 friends, and they sat with him for 7 days, and they didn't say a word. They just sat there with him, and they were like, "You're going through it, but we're here." And I don't know, that to me is the sign of a true friend, because I don't like it. Like, if you're going through it, there's a time to have somebody be like, "Oh, we're here for you," or whatever, and then there's sometimes where you need someone to just be like, "Yeah, man, this sucks. You're going through it, and I'm not going to try to comfort you. I'm just going to be here." Like, and I feel like that's one of the most underrated parts of that story, is just like, sometimes you just got to go sit with somebody,
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that too deep?
No, I like that.
I have 2 comments.
Right.
Okay.
One is, I think a good dad in the Bible is Joseph's dad, because when they threw Joseph in the hole and then sold him to prison, the dad was just really, really, really sad that Joseph was. They told him he was dead. So I thought that was pretty cool. And the other question is, so David cut Goliath's head off, and they said they took it back to Jerusalem, I guess. What'd they do with the head?
Displayed it for people to see. It was proof.
I know, but 20 years later, where's the head?
They put it in a case like a World Series trophy. Like, they put it up in the Hall of Fame,
and now it's in a Buc-ee's in San Antonio.
That's how you can go take a picture with it.
Well, later he gets Goliath's sword, which I think is interesting.
Well, he keeps Goliath's sword.
No, it goes someplace.
Well, it goes to Saul, doesn't he? Doesn't he give it to King Saul?
Ends up,
and then
when David's running from Saul, it's a priest has it, and he says,
he delivers it to him.
Yeah,
right?
and lets him take. He goes, "Well, do you have any weapons around here?" He goes, "Yeah, I've got Goliath's sword." He goes, "I'll take that."
He bought it on eBay.
Yeah, Temu, yeah. So the one thing I will say about Joseph's dad is that I'm not so sure that he was a good dad, just because he very clearly had favorite children.
Yeah.
And Joseph and Benjamin were his favorite, and he would tell all the other kids, "I like you guys, but these are my favorite because they came from my favorite wife, and your mom was kind of meh." Yeah.
I did that, though. I'd always say, to you, I'd say, I like the neighbor kid better.
Yeah, because his wife. No, so I mean, and also Joseph, I mean, he got beaten up by his brothers. He got thrown in a pit. He got sold into slavery and stuff like that. But he kind of deserved it. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if
Yeah.
you show up every single day and tell your siblings, one day you guys are all gonna bow down to me. I'm special, and you guys are just plot filler.
And look at my coat.
Yeah, look at this coat. Yeah, like they're gonna be like, "Oh, really? Come here, coat boy." You know, like.
That's right. Yeah. So I agree. He deserved it.
A little bit,
but he learned from it.
But he needed to learn. You know what I mean?
He was right.
What'd you say the other day? You can't save your kids from their testimony or something like that, or their.
That was a quote, but yeah, it's not like that's very wise. I wish I had thought of it, but yeah,
you can take credit for it. No one's going to check.
Okay,
that's okay.
Well, then turn on this podcast. No one's going to listen with us. So,
Well,
nobody's hearing me say
Well,
you can't steal. You can't save your. You shouldn't save your kids from their testimony.
Interesting. Best type of vacation. Are you going to go to the mountain ranges? Are you going to the beach? Or you want to spend some time out in like the wilderness, the forest?
Wilderness and the mountains are the same to me.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there's different types of wildernesses. You know, like if you go to Gatlinburg, mountains are much different than Breckenridge, Colorado mountains.
Right.
And, you know, then obviously the beach is its own thing.
Mountains for sure.
Okay. I don't know. What about you, Gigi?
Mine's beach.
Beach.
I like the mountains, but the beach.
I'm torn. I don't know. I still think one of my all-time favorite things that I would love to do is fly to San Diego, rent a car, like spend a day in San Diego doing the beach, doing all that stuff, then drive from San Diego to Vegas, Vegas to Moab, Utah, and stay in like the high, like red clay hills and stuff like that. Because you drive through Arizona, you drive up into Utah, you drive through the high plains and like the red hills and everything like that. And then from Moab, Utah, you can drive to Denver the next day. And it's just, you watch it change. And it is like the greatest scenery I've ever seen. It's the best part of the country. And then you would just fly out of Denver and come back. Because you don't need to go through Kansas or East Colorado. Meh. Yeah.
Yeah. Then shouldn't that be the best road trip?
Yeah, that would be the best road trip.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I don't know.
But what would be your best?
I've never driven through the Swiss Alps, so I don't know. But I think that would be the best road trip.
But what would be your best vacation? You can't move around. You got to stay.
You have to stay.
You have to stay.
Who's the MC here?
I don't know. She has a point. She has a point. I mean, a road trip is a vacation, I would argue.
Yes.
But if I have to stay in one spot, I don't think I'll ever not want to go to San Diego. I just love San Diego so much. There's so many memories there, so much time there. Just, I don't know. I mean, maybe if I went a bunch, I'd be like, okay, I'm sick of it now. But it's just the perfect. It's just the best place on earth. You know, it's so good. The best day we had when we went to San Diego last year was when we just drove up the coast and we stopped at Torrey Pines Beach. It cost us $10 to park. And then we just stayed there for hours and played in the waves and stuff. And the water was like sparkly. It looked like it had like gold flakes in it and stuff like that. So it wasn't like it was a super expensive whatever, you know, all the like the trips to Disney and stuff, like, yeah, they were fine. But man, spending $10 to park at a beach and just play in the waves, there's nothing better than that.
The kids will remember that forever.
It's interesting you bring that up. You say your memories of San Diego, but that's also where boot camp was. So you starved. You did like 500 sit-ups. You had to run 400 miles. You know, Those are great memories.
Yeah. I mean, but you know what? Is that I didn't hate it. I didn't hate going back.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to the graduation and stuff like that. And I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. And now that could be brainwashing. It could be trauma bonding. It could be whatever you want to call it. But it made it like, I don't know. It felt good. It felt good to be there and
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, exactly. That could be exactly what it was.
Mm-hmm. Or
Mm-hmm.
but you also know how good it felt when you graduated, when you're done. And so it's like
Yeah,
yes.
and then that's the thing that nobody ever realizes.
Mm-hmm.
They always ask about boot camp.
Mm-hmm.
When they talk about the military,
Mm-hmm.
they always say, "Well, I was boot camp." And they're like, "It was hard, but
Mm-hmm.
I did it." And they're like, "Oh man, I would just be so happy." It's like you don't realize, like, yeah, you go through boot camp and then that ends, but then the military starts.
Yeah.
Like that's just the beginning,
Right.
That's like the tutorial level on like a
Mhm.
video game. Like
Mhm.
here's how to jump and here's how to shoot and
Mm-hmm.
and now go do it. Like
Yeah.
it gets harder. It gets
Yeah.
much harder after that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so funny cuz I was like when I was in boot camp I was like this is the hardest thing I've ever done.
Mm.
And then I went to School of Infantry and I was like this is the hardest thing I've ever done. And then I went to my unit and I was like, this is impossible.
Mhm.
This is not, there's no way I can survive.
Mm-hmm.
And, eventually it just,
But you did.
you get used to it and it becomes a new normal. And then you get out and spiral out of control. And,
Look at these good parents. Yeah, he's saying spiral out of control, and we're like,
well, I mean, what are you guys going to be like? No, you did fine. Like,
Yeah.
no, we all know.
Yeah.
It was touch and go there for a little bit. Yeah, we had some rough moments, but well, look at us. Look at us. We did it, huh?
Yeah.
We're on the other side of it.
Yeah, look how normal we are.
All right, best TV dad.
oh,
Oh, without a doubt, Bill Cosby. I mean, you gotta understand. When I was like 9, he came out with albums and of his comedy, and it was so funny. I would play it over and over and over. He was just the greatest. And then he was on I Spy TV show,
mm-hmm.
and I was like, this is so cool. He is a rock star to me as a little kid.
I will say on his show, the Cosby Show, Dr. Huxtable, great dad.
Mm-hmm.
Doctor, provides for his family, takes care of his kids,
Mm-hmm.
teaches them life lessons, is not too mean, not too
Mm-hmm.
whatever. In real life, turns out not such a good guy. Are you?
No, you're right.
It's a fact.
I mean, it's kind of like
No,
it's kind of like the family member we know that still really likes Michael Jackson. And it's like, no, but he doesn't believe any of this about Michael Jackson. I like Bill Cosby, and it's so hard to believe that stuff about him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it's not true. It's just so hard to believe it. It's just,
Everybody loved OJ too.
I mean, it's hard to it's hard to hear. Yeah, and I believe it or not, I think there were some people who liked Hitler for a while. And I think
Eva Braun.
yeah. I don't know. We saw him live one time.
Yeah.
Philadelphia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he was so funny.
He was so funny, wasn't
So
he?
funny. And so when all the stuff came out, I was really sad. I was
Mhm.
really, really sad because I was
Mhm.
like, oh, he was someone I really liked. And I think that's never mind. I was gonna say I think that's the worst part of it was that it was such a disappointment. But it's like, no, the rape was the worst part.
Yeah, that was the worst part. Right, right.
Yeah.
But for his fans, I mean,
Yeah,
it was
but
just like, what?
yeah, but for all the non-victims, it's like, oh, he wasn't such a good guy. But
yeah.
I don't know. I've always thought that. So like before I had kids,
Mm-hmm.
I've always said that I thought that I would be more like Phil Dunphy or
Mhm.
Uncle Phil from The Fresh Prince
Mm-hmm.
as a dad, but I'm definitely closer to Bernie Mac and Dan Connors from the Roseanne show, you know, as a dad, where it's like they were like kind of loving and playful, and then these were kind of like, hey, stop all that foolishness, you know, like, and so I was like, this is kind of how I've become, but this is who I kind of wanted to be. I don't know, so I'm trying to find that balance.
Or Bill Cosby's right in the middle.
Yeah. Hey, right.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, I'm afraid that I do not know who Uncle Phil is. I don't.
From the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
I don't believe I've ever seen a whole episode of that. I know there's a song that everybody sings that goes with it. Moving on.
No,
You
nope,
know.
nope.
No.
There's this song for the Fresh Prince, Moving On Up.
No, it's not that one. But
Nope.
there's something like, and so my mama said, "Get away from." So no, that's the Clampets. No, anyway. Yeah. Anyway, but there's
You know the Fresh Prince song where it goes, "The Beverly Hillbillies."
Come
But,
and listen
there's
to
a
my
whole
story about a Sam named Jed.
Yeah.
Out here about a campus family fed.
No. You know, there is a Fresh Prince
There-
song, but I don't know it. So anyway,
Yeah.
obviously. But what I'm saying is, I never watched the show.
I think you'd like it.
The dad that I always wanted, TV dad, was the dad on Leave It to Beaver,
Ward?
Ward Cleaver.
Ward, Cleveland.
Where
He
he'd
was-
come on and put on his slippers and a smoking jacket.
No, that
and-
was Hazel's. That was Mr. B.
Yeah,
That
Oh,
was in
sorry.
Hazel.
Ward Cleaver's dad. I mean, Ward Cleaver. He was just. He loved his family, but he didn't put up with a lot of nonsense. But he was fair, and he had no drama of his own.
Well, he
That's
was a
what I
side
like.
character.
Yeah, but
he
that's
had, he was 2-dimensional.
Well, isn't that what a dad is meant to be?
Yeah, side character,
A side
yeah.
character. It's like
Happy Father's Day, everybody, to all
Yeah,
the
yeah,
side
yeah.
characters out
Irma
there.
Bonbeck said that when she was little, she's before your time. Look her up, people. But she said she'd play dolls and like Barbies or something, and she'd have Barbie, and she'd have maybe it was the Ken doll, I don't know, or somebody representing Dad, and basically she'd go and throw him under the bed because nobody knew what the dads did. I mean, just dads left and went to work. That's So when she would play, that was his role, just go away, and then life went on.
I just
So-
I like that imagery of whatever. Like that's how. I guess I've never thought about it, but it's like, is that how little girls play house? Where they're like, I'm the mom and I'm the dad. I'm going to work.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Here, let's
That-
try on
That was the
evening
50s
dress.
and 60s. Now the mom goes to work and the dad lays on the couch. And, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, that's who I grew up with. And I just like, and he was he was handsome, but he wasn't like gorgeous. But he looked like a dad.
I don't trust it. I never liked Leave It to Beaver because it was too fake. It's too fake. I don't feel like even if you
I
were
am
to
sorry.
if you were to go back even to your childhood,
Mm-hmm.
I think you would know that whole situation was not realistic. Where the mom always had pearls on,
No.
the house was always clean, dinner was always perfect. Nothing ever really happened. If something did happen, it was Eddie Haskell caused a problem
Mm-hmm.
that somehow involved the boys, but it was like, well, go up to your room, and then that was the end of the episode or whatever. And it's like, no, that's not real life,
I had real life. I wanted that.
Yeah,
I wanted
that's true.
that, Dad. I wanted that.
Yeah, I can see it.
But, and really, the first time when Misha was in kindergarten and we went for the first PTA meeting, Dad was horrified because he went to campus school and all the moms did wear pearls and they dressed up. And he saw these moms come in and
No, that's when we
Cookie
talked-
Monster sweatpants and Crocs.
no,
and
this was it
No.
was at Clippard, and you were like, I can't believe this. I'm looking around for Mrs. Kinder, and she's not here, because he just they.
Yeah, the moms wore dresses and had pearls and earrings and
So that was our era, So it was closer to the truth than you might realize, right?
yeah.
For that-
Andy Griffith ought to be up there.
Andy Griffith should be up there.
Oh.
You know who else should be up there? And I think I'm gonna say this, and I think you're gonna love it.
Mm-hmm.
The dad from the Wonder Years.
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew you liked him a lot.
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
I can't remember his name. I just know him as the dad from the Wonder Years.
Years.
Yeah. I can hear his voice and see his face and stuff like that, but I don't know anything else about him.
Remember Larry Mondello from Leave It to Beaver? The real fat kid?
Yeah. Yes.
He was a kind of an Eddie Haskell. He was always getting the beeve into trouble.
Shout out, Larry.
How you doing?
If you're listening, and we know that you are, we hope you're doing well.
And we know that was just an act.
Yeah. I'm sure you've lost the weight. The acne's cleared up. And I'm sure you might even be in color now, too. Who knows? I think that's a good place to wrap it up. Thanks for coming on and doing it.
When do we get paid?
About 6 weeks after I get paid. No. Is there anything you can think of that we might need to leave notes for Bree that we want to?
Yeah. Where are the cameras?
Don't cut that, Bree. Please leave that in. We've been going for an hour and 35 minutes, and she's 4.5 feet from a camera staring in her face. Where are they?
No. I just thought maybe I didn't know if I ever looked in one.
Okay.
I'm sinking.
Yeah.
You're getting taller and I'm getting lower here.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for coming to do it. I appreciate it. I think it was fun. I don't know. Did you guys have a good time?
More of our discussions should be like this.
I think we might be doing a little nervous in the beginning, but it seemed like it was good and loose towards the end.
Well, when I get 1 million views, I want money for the next time I come on.
Well, if you get 1 million views, I'll get you some money. I tell you what, I'll get you a QT cup so that way you can save some money on a refill. Yeah, but that's it. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you next week.